Flats, Rascal Flats, right here on Your Coast Radio, 6.9 FM. It's 29 minutes after 3 o'clock, 55.2 degrees outside. It's perfect out there. And ladies and gentlemen, we got the rest of the story of the Titanic. The Titanic story. It's the 103rd anniversary. And to tell us the rest of the story, we got information master Tiffany. Hold on. Let me play your sample.
Okay, so those aboard Titanic were ill prepared for such an emergency.
That's no lie.
Where ships were seen as largely unsinkable and lifeboats were intended to transfer passengers to nearby rescue vessels, Titanic only had enough lifeboats to carry about half of those on board. At 2:20 on April 15th, 2 hours and 40 minutes after Titanic struck this iceberg, her rate of sinking suddenly increased as her forward deck dipped underwater and the sea poured in through open hatches and grates. As her unsupported stern rose out of the water, exposing the propellers, the ship began to break in two between the third and fourth funnels due to the immense strain on the keel. All remaining passengers and crew plunged into lethally cold water with a temperature of 28 degrees Fahrenheit. Almost all of those in the water died of cardiac arrest or other causes within 15 to 30 minutes. Only 13 of them were helped into the lifeboats, though these had room for almost 500 more people. Distress signals were sent by wireless rockets and lamp, but none of the ships that responded were near enough to reach her before she sank. A nearby ship, Californian, which was the last to have been in contact with her before the collision, saw her flares but failed to assist. Around 4 a.m., RMS Carpathia arrived on the scene in response to Titanic's earlier distress calls. About 710 people survived the disaster and were conveyed by Carpathia to New York, Titanic's original destination, while 1,500 people lost their lives. Carpathia's captain described the place as an ice field that had included 20 large bergs measuring up to 200 feet high and numerous smaller bergs, as well as ice floes and debris from Titanic. Passengers described being in the middle of a vast white plain of ice studded with icebergs.
Very cool. I just wanted to turn up the music. So yeah, today is the anniversary. That's cool. You know what? Something that I know. I'm a Titanic fan. I had a huge Titanic thing. I don't know when it was.
Model?
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, I just went through a phase where I thought that was cool, and I had this big model. But the one cool fact about the Titanic is it only had 3 stacks, smokestacks that worked. The 4th one was added purely to make the power, just to drive the power home. So, yeah, Titanic. It's been 103 years, ladies and gentlemen. Still at the bottom of the ocean. I think they've tried to recover things, but there's cool video on the internet. They have now went down there. So you guys go check that out. That was awesome. That worked.